Dismissive avoidant breakup. Uncommon reasons the avoidant ex comes back. Hi, I'm Katya Morozova. I'm a personal and relationship coach for people who are ready to heal from their breakup, become secure in their relationships, and attract healthy love into their life. I'm also the founder of katyamorozova.me, and if you'd like to book a coaching session with me, you can do so on that website. If you're watching this video, then something I think you might be looking for is a sense of certainty. Certainty that your ex will come back to you. Or maybe your ex has come back around and you're wondering why. Can I trust their intention? And while I ultimately can't provide you with that, sense of certainty because life and relationships are inherently uncertain, I can definitely provide you with some insights from patterns I've witnessed in my practice and from working with hundreds of people in various relationship dynamics. Also, this is the sequel to a video I made a couple of years ago with the same title. So if you want more reasons for why your dismissive avoidant may come back to you, then definitely check that video out next. I'll link it at the end. DA may come back to a relationship with a more avoidant partner. So if a dismissive avoidant was with a more avoidant partner, then likely in the relationship there was an absence of anxiety and concerns being projected onto the less avoidant partner. And so what that leaves is a lot more space and time in the relationship and more time for the less avoidant partner to fantasize and to fill in the gaps. And yes, DAs do fantasize and they do experience limerence and anxieties underneath their avoidance. So after a breakup, the less avoidant partner could come back to a more avoidant partner if they experienced these things that I just mentioned. The anxieties and the limerence that I'm describing are actually basically a symptom of attachment. So if the less avoidant partner was more attached to the more avoidant, tongue twister, to the more avoidant partner, then they're more likely to come back, because generally people who are more attached in relationships are the ones who end up coming back to that relationship. If you and your DA partner connected on a high degree intellectually or professionally or around your hobbies, they may come back. As we've discussed in other videos, DAs can often thrive in areas of life that are more cerebral and less emotional. And this is the type of attachment style that's going to focus more on having things in common. They may look for that in a relationship. Activities, interests, hobbies, passions. And often it's this attachment style that will value this type of connection highly over a more emotional connection. The dismissive avoidant might come back to this type of relationship or connection because they'll view it as distinct or rare. This is the kind of relationship where they may actually feel most connected because they're not burdened emotionally and they're being stimulated intellectually or physically or whatever it is, whatever is that common ground that they share. I'm curious if this speaks to your dynamic with your DA partner. Did you meet at work or at a university? Or did you have some shared unique hobbies? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious. The dismissive avoidant might come back to you if they have a chance to long for you, or if your relationship was full of longing. Now, keep in mind that just because you are in no contact with a person with this attachment style, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to long for you. Of course, being out of contact is the thing that can generate longing, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. So I want to give that caveat here. Remember that the dismissive avoidant has an insecure attachment style, and all people with an insecure attachment style in their relationships long for more. They long for the connection and the degree of connection that they never got. They long for more love and more depth, even if they don't show it. Some relationships are full of this type of longing. Maybe they're long distance, or maybe there's limerence on both sides when the two parties come into contact. If your relationship was imbued with a sense of longing for whatever reason, a longing that never got resolved, that never got fulfilled, it's more likely that they'll come back to you. A dismissive avoidant may come back to a relationship if you were the hot and cold partner. I saw a talk recently about the concept of intermittent reward and its addictive qualities. So basically, when someone is there and then they go away and then they show up again without any kind of regular rhyme or reason, and this happens multiple times, this can become addictive for people. And I think people with insecure attachment styles are a lot more prone to fall into these types of unstable relationships. In fact, I think that a DA with an FA match can keep the DA coming back around in the relationship, because the DA may be satisfied and fulfilled when the fearful avoidant partner is around, and also okay when the fearful avoidant partner maybe deactivates or takes more space, because in a way, because it satisfies the need for space and time that the dismissive avoidant partner has. So a lot of times these relationships can function in this way. And the DA may be in a way satisfied with the relationship as it is, even if the FA partner continues to go away. So I can see how if this is your type of dynamic and things end, that the DA partner may come back again. If you're finding these reasons interesting so far, or they echo your situation, go ahead and hit that like button. So if the DA messed things up with you, then they are more likely to come back. A lot of content, including my own, focuses on situations where maybe the anxious partner pushed the dismissive avoidant away. But of course, that's only sometimes the case. First, it's really important to understand that not everything registers as a screw up for the avoidant partner. So for instance, if they wanted to leave the relationship and they did, that's not a screw up, that's a choice. So you want to be discerning when you listen to this reason. But let's say that the dismissive avoidant couldn't give you something, but they really wanted to. Or they made a mistake or did damage to your relationship and they're aware of that and they feel guilt or sorrow for that. Maybe they even acknowledge that they feel bad or felt bad for it. And then the relationship ended. Either you ended it because of their mistake, or they ended it because they couldn't give you what you wanted, but they would have, again, really liked to. Then the DA might come back. And here's the caveat here. This is one of those situations where, and you're probably going to say this is unfair, where you might actually need to reach out to them for them to come back. And again, I know that this is unfair, but sometimes people with this attachment style harbor so much guilt and shame that it paralyzes them from taking action, or they come to the conclusion that you may never want to hear from them again. If this sounds like your situation, then I definitely recommend booking a session with me, because in that session, we can really explore if reaching out is a good idea and how you might go about doing that. So if you're curious if your DAX will come back to you, or if you should reach out to test the waters and see if they're open for reconnection, and you'd like to know how you might go about doing that, then I recommend booking a one-on-one session where we can explore your unique situation. We can assess if your DA is moving on and detached, or is still attached but needs more time, or is hoping that you might actually reach out to them. Or at the very least, the door might be more open than you think. And from there, we can determine if a communication strategy is warranted, or I can give you some peace of mind if one is not, and that you've done all that you can. You can book that session using the link in the comments, or go to my website, katyamorozova.me/single-session. Follow the instructions on that page, and when you hit book, you'll be able to view my live calendar and choose a time, and from there you can actually check out. Did you like this video? Go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to watch more videos on the dismissive or the fearful avoidant attachment style. And if you want more content to support you to heal and become secure, definitely subscribe. Next up is the prequel to this video that I mentioned with the same title. So if you want to hear more reasons why the dismissive avoidant comes back, you can watch that video next. It's going to be right up here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.